fellow language learning nerds, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be another one in my little series called My Japanese Bookshelf. Yeah, doing another one, finally doing another one on manga, which I haven't done for a little while, so I'm quite happy to be able to do this one. So if you haven't seen any of the previous videos in the series, My Japanese Bookshelf is where I just introduce you to one of the books on my metaphorical Japanese bookshelf. Whether it could be a book on learning Japanese, it could be a book written in Japanese, and today it's a manga written in Japanese, and it's a digital edition, so I don't have a physical copy, but I have this image. Yay! Ta-da! I first came across My Love Story when I watched the anime. It has one season to the anime, and I absolutely loved it. It's not surprisingly a love story, and that's not usually my cup of tea, but it won me over, very much so, with its heaping of humour and adorableness. It was like a really good mix that my brain really liked. So the story sees Takeo, a high school student who is a giant of a teenager. He's taller than most adults. He's just built huge, and he is unfortunately very intimidating to many people. Many people just like see him and like, a bit scared of him. But he's a bit of a gentle giant, and he would love nothing more than to be able to have a girlfriend one day. He's always falling in love with girls in his class, but they all kind of reject his feelings. None of them feel the same way. They all have a crush on his best friend, who's like typical anime beautiful boy. But one day Takeo meets this lovely sweet girl from a different high school. She's tiny, she's cute, she's adorable, and she likes him too. When I first originally heard this story, I thought it would be a case of the story is about them starting to like each other and trying to find ways that they can express their feelings, and that will be the end of the whole story would be them finally being able to say, I like you, and they'll get together and be like, oh, that's super cute and adorable. But no, only about halfway through the first manga do they actually they get together, and the proper story from the first volume onwards is actually about their relationship, both of them having their first relationship as teenagers, and it is super cute and adorable. I love it so much. A little shout out to Takeo's best friend Suna, who is the suffering friend who just wants to read a book. He just wants to sit quietly and read a good book, and he has to kind of put up with his friends in a relationship. It's not that bad. He's actually a very nice, supportive best friend, but it is funny just him having to put up with them being lovey-dovey around him. One of the things I particularly like about this is the illustrations. You have like your typical kind of manga anime illustrations going on, but every now and again there's a particular image that comes up that is just hilarious. I love it. Yeah, it's just so good. In terms of reading it in Japanese, I found there were the usual sort of thing of each time I read something it does get a little bit easier. However, this one I felt the language wasn't as difficult as some of the other manga that I had been reading. This is very simple slice of life sort of story, so there wasn't nothing too complicated, and so I felt like while I was still kind of having to look up words as frequently as I usually do, I found my speed of getting through it was slightly quicker than usual. I think that's because the level for it, kind of from what I had been reading, the level was just below that, so I felt it a bit easier to get through. And I think this is a good thing. I think while, yeah, you always want to be, you know, being able to read things more and more difficult, but I think you should still be able to read things, either just keep on reading at the same level, or don't be afraid to read things that are slightly below, because that, you know, you don't want to always be kind of struggling as you're improving your reading. I think you should also take the time to read things and just feel comfortable reading them and enjoy the reading of it. So yeah, I don't feel bad that it was slightly easier to read than normal. I actually felt it much more relaxing to be able to get through it a bit quicker. So yeah, I did like that. So yeah, maybe if you're ever trying to find something to read and you see something that's interesting to you, but you worry that, oh, but is it going to be the right level for me? Is it going to challenge me? Sometimes just read something for fun. just enjoy it, you know? One of the things that made it easier to read was that the language in here, not that particularly difficult. It is just slice of life, school drama. There is a bit of polite Japanese in there, but there's also plenty of casual Japanese, just, you know, teenagers chatting to each other, their friends, so then you're not going to always be using polite language, just casual talk. There's plenty of that in here. Yeah, so despite there being a few words in here that I had to look up several dozen times, that's kind of the usual typical thing, but I found this a really nice read, an enjoyable read, and I definitely recommend it. It is a very, very sweet story, so if you don't like things that are too sweet, this may not be the thing for you. But if you're looking for something, a nice, comfortable, funny read, then this might be a good thing for you to read. I do recommend it. I do love the story. It's so cute and adorable, and I love it. Even though I had watched the anime and now I've read the first volume, I do want to continue reading it because I think the manga story goes beyond where the anime finished. So there is more to the story that I don't know. But reading through it, it made me want to go back and re-watch the anime, because the anime does a few visual gags that are funny in the manga, but it's just on point in the anime. So yeah, there's some really good bits in this. It's so funny. I love it. You should read it, even if it's not for language learning. Just read it. It's cute. Go and read it. Anyway, I will stop gushing on about this little story that I love, and I will let you get on with the rest of your day. So hopefully I will see you in the next video, and remember, may your grammar be structured and your vocabulary varied. Bye!